Hi guys, welcome back to yet another video. My name is Martin. I'm filming this in my storage unit tonight. What I do on this channel is I show off four books from random, and I end on a key issue. What can I say? What can I say that I haven't already said? I have a bunch of books up there in like 3 boxes, and they are all keys. And then I have a whole bunch of books up there which are just randoms. So I've picked one out from there and 3 out from there, and they're kind of one of them's at least a cover swap. Oh yeah, okay. Now I picked up one of these books during the week. It arrived. I was very eager to get it, and then I read it, and I'm going to talk about it. So the first issue I want to show off is issue 21 of Generation X, and I'd stopped reading Generation X around this time, but then my local comic book shop at the time had this on the shelf, and I saw Howard the Duck, and it just looked great. And we have Chamber here, and it was a cover buy for me. But then once I read it, I was kind of hooked again, and I picked up the next, say, 10 issues. And yeah, but look, it's just I'll hold it up as slowly as I can, or evenly as I can, without too much glare. But just look at, like, visually how striking Chamber is. And I think that's like the major key ingredient for this character. He has to be visually interesting, just like Ghost Rider, and even to a lesser extent, just like Howard the Duck. You have to have these characters that people will stop and go, "What the hell is that?" I I remember the first time I saw Chamber, with all the what I thought was fire coming off his face. I thought, what is going on here? And then I read it, and it's like, wow, what a concept. But the only reason why I was intrigued was because visually he was striking. And yeah, there we go. Now, the next issue I want to show off, it's Web of Spider-Man issue 123. Now, other channels, other comic book channels will go on and on about the Clone Saga and how it went on for 6 months longer than it should have. It was a bit of a hot mess. You had like 4 different books all trying to do its own thing, but also trying to stay within the pool of what the storyline was going on. And I think that's where it went a bit askew, in that Marvel didn't really give the creative teams the chance to do their own thing. Maybe they wanted to just keep the story just really in-house, and really under wraps. So the creative teams were kind of, yeah, just like hamstrung with what they could do. But look, it's an interesting cover, but it is just a random issue of Web of Spider-Man, and yeah, there we are. Now, I got this book during the week. I got it from an online auction. I bought issues 1, 3, 12, and 23. And the 23rd issue was the final issue of the series. And it wasn't until it arrived that I realized I had the final issue. So it was kind of like, a bit discouraging that I've already bought a book. I've bought a book that I've already got a copy of. So now I've got 2 copies of it. But then I read this last night, and I was a little bit unimpressed. But I was intrigued by the cover, and here it is here. It's Demon Knights issue 1 from the New 52 era. Now it's written by Paul Cornell. So I was really surprised that Paul gave work that was a little bit mediocre, because I was every time I read a Paul Cornell comic, I'm always impressed. He always brings something to the book that you didn't really expect, and so maybe I went in with too high of an expectation with this. I knew the general concept, and my wife asked me about it. She said, "What are you reading there?" And I said, "Oh, look, it's all about King Arthur and Merlin and the Knights of Camelot, and you have like their puppy dog, Etrigan the Demon, and for the most part, that's what it is. There's a few other characters in here which I was surprised to see them, but it just felt like it wasn't like completely there, concept wise. Like there was that premise, but then I was reading. I'm like, okay, so there's this scene, and then this scene, and then this scene, and then what is this book actually about? And by the time I got to the end of the book, they didn't really get to the purpose of the book. So we had the premise, but we didn't have the purpose, and I think that's what lost it for me. But I've got two other issues of this to read, so yeah, I live for high hopes. Now, the key issue for this video is Batman 655 by Grant Morrison and Andy Kubert. And this is around the era where Damian Wayne makes his first appearance. I remember reading this when it came out. I bought them off the shelves because obviously I had Batman as a standing order at the time. I was interested, but I was also... It's weird because I was intrigued by Batman, and I've been reading Batman for a few years, but by this time I was kind of like not getting sick of Batman, but maybe it was maybe getting sick of Grant Morrison. Maybe he just felt like he was doing some weird things with the character, and not like a departure from the standard Batman story, but I think maybe just tonally I wasn't really getting it, and I kind of lost interest. I did pick it up for a few more issues after this, because obviously Damian Wayne, it was an interesting story, but I didn't last too much longer. And now, many years after the fact, I watch these YouTube comic book channels, and they're all saying, yeah, this is like, $50 book, $100 book. The sky's the limit for these books, and I have them, and I'm like, oh, okay, all right, great. But yeah, there we go. So that's the key issue for the video. That's the video for tonight. Please let me know what you think in the comments down below. Please like and subscribe if you wish to. I would really appreciate it. Excuse me. Thanks for sticking with me, and I will catch you at the next one. Bye, guys.